Hi, I'm Tyler Wilkinson. I'm a real estate broker who leads one of the best real estate teams in southern Wisconsin. We help people buy and sell homes, commercial buildings, land, and rental properties. I'm also a real estate attorney and get questions about whether someone should buy or sell a property on a land contract. Today I'm going to explain what a land contract is, how it works, and the pros and cons of this tool. A land contract is a way to buy real estate from a seller where the seller acts as the bank. Now, normally when you buy real estate, you sign a note or a promise to pay and a mortgage with a bank. The bank gives you the money and you give the money to the seller in exchange for the real estate. You, the buyer, then make your payments of principal and interest to the bank until the property is paid for. A land contract takes the bank out of the picture. Instead, the seller lends you the money and you make your payments of principal and interest to the seller instead of the bank. The buyer still signs a note or a promise to pay and a mortgage, only with the seller instead of the bank. A land contract includes all the terms you would expect to see when you borrow money from a bank. The contract length or term, the interest rate, the down payment amount, the remaining payment terms. The nice part is these terms are negotiable between the seller and buyer, and they get better terms than either party can get through a lender. Importantly, a land contract also addresses what happens if a buyer fails to make payments. The seller may foreclose and take the real estate back, or have the contract purchase price paid. Basically, the seller turns into the bank and has to foreclose on a non-paying buyer. So a land contract transfers the real estate from the seller to the buyer, but the seller keeps a land contract back. That's the mortgage and the promise to pay until it's paid off in full. Now, why would someone want a land contract instead of a standard sale? Well, a seller might want a land contract to spread out their payments. As a result, spread out their tax bill, maybe driven by taxes. A seller may also like capturing interest payments. It may be a pretty good investment for a seller to lend to a solid person through a land contract and capture those interest payments as an investment. The seller may also want preferred terms for a preferred buyer, like a family member. We sell a lot of family farms, typically through land contracts, where mom and dad can sell the farm to a kid on a land contract on terms the kid can afford. Mom and dad are willing to take less over a longer period of time to see the kid get the property. Also, a seller may have a property that a lender will not lend on, or maybe there's some issue where the property will not appraise for the value, or some other reason why a bank won't touch this property. A land contract still allows a seller to sell the property and a buyer to buy it without having to come up with all the money up front. Now, a buyer may want a land contract because it offers more flexibility in terms. You can negotiate the length of the contract, the interest rate, the down payment, etc., and get better terms than you may be able to get through a lender. A buyer may also want a land contract because maybe they want to do business with a family member or a preferred seller and would rather pay them than a bank. A buyer may also want a land contract because they're not eligible for traditional financing. Maybe they've got bad credit or some other debt that makes it hard for them to get financing. So buying real estate through a land contract may also result in cheaper transaction and closing costs, as you may not have to pay a bank or appraisal fees or other professionals involved. But there are downsides to a land contract. For a seller, you don't get the money right away, and instead you're at the mercy of a buyer who has to make their payments. If the buyer does not make the payments, then the seller has to act as a bank and maybe foreclose. Most people just want the money. They don't want to think and act like a bank. For a buyer, land contract sellers can get impatient or die or get sick or their attitude changes. A bank or a lender is more steady and a professional partner that sometimes your private land contract seller is not. And because of these pros and cons, we really only recommend land contracts when there's a relationship between the parties. A land contract seller has to be patient to get the money and has to want this buyer to get the property and succeed. A land contract buyer has to be steady and do what they promise to do in the land contract. It's extremely unlikely that two unrelated parties are going to execute a land contract because there needs to be that existing trusting relationship. Land contract partners are business partners. If there's no relationship, that partnership may fail. A land contract is a great tool for selling and buying real estate, but only in the right situations. That's why the smartest thing you can do is find a great real estate agent or a great real estate attorney to help you. Our team is really good, and we're ready to help you buy or sell property. Check out our website or give us a call and come meet with some of our friendly agents or attorneys. And check out more of my videos to learn more about buying and selling real estate. This is Tyler Wilkinson. See you next time.